again, I mentioned both the domestic and global quad forward data that we've been getting. This morning is one of the worst data days. In fact, this week has been one of the worst data days I've seen in my entire career, and I don't want to mince words about that. I want to slow that down. This week has been one of the worst global economic data weeks I've seen in my entire career. My alarm bells are certainly sounding, and I probably sync with as much data as anybody doing this professionally. Just starting with that Chinese the July activity data. So I hit on this in my note last night. The July credit data, which was some of the worst credit data I've seen come out of China as it relates to the growth rate of bank loans, which slowed 42 basis points to 12.6% year over year. You saw July open market operations, the PBOC drained a net $510 billion out of the financial system in July. Medium-term lending, in terms of that, the balance sheet, the PBOC's balance sheet actually contracted over 30% year over year in July. So obviously, I made the point in my note, we're going to get this activity data, and if this credit data is, and the PMI data that we've seen thus far is indicative of anything, it's going to be that the Chinese economy did not stabilize in June, which was clearly the story associated a month ago with the June activity data. We saw some stabilization in June, but the Chinese policymakers are going to try to do what they can to massage this or hide this from the public eye. But again, I've been saying this all along, there's not one data point in the global economy that said China stabilized in June. If anything, if you look at the European data that we continue to get, like yesterday's zoo survey data out of Germany and Europe, crashing to levels we haven't seen since December 2011. This morning's sort of national account data out of Germany, back in a contraction, slowing again in quad 4 and Q2. All these data points, you look at Singaporean exports, Singaporean GDP, Asian exports, Latin American exports, all these things are negative, down 5 to 10 to 20%. They're not as cool as Japanese machine tool orders, obviously, because they were down 33% year over year in July. Again, all these indicators that are so very relevant to monitoring the pace of global economic activity continue to be at their worst in June, July, and even into August here as it relates to the most recent data we've got.